Yes, welcome to Open Collar, the only show that hits pop culture as fast as coal trickle on the track in Days of Thunder. I am Corey Willis. He's Steve McCoy. This is the show. Come at you live on YouTube. You can find us at youtube.com at Open Collar Pod or audio listeners anywhere you get your podcasts.
I was thinking it would have been like a Vincent Price or Halloween themed lead in. Still great though.
I
love how you
did.
started too. It's always yes. All right, let's get going.
Well, there was a delay. I'm getting the notes open. I did have one, but the video didn't work. I was gonna just do the Welcome to Open Collar, the only show that, and then it was supposed to go into the intro from Time Warp in Rocky Horror, just the show where it's just a jump to the left.
Nice.
But when I was editing the video, it wouldn't let me save from that point, so I'm like, it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
So when I was
maybe
reading
we'll aim for 2025 Halloween.
Maybe, yeah. When I was reading that Tom Cruise is looking to do a sequel to to Days of Thunder, I'm like, oh well, that's just apropos.
I mean, at that point in his career, why not, right? I mean, he's on to his 15th. I'm beginning to think that it's Mission Possible. With all
after 8 installments, yes, these missions are definitely possible.
Yeah, or at least like maybe it's a Mission Plausible, and then leading into Mission Possible. But yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, why not redo Cocktails? Let's go there. Days of Thunder, that'd be all right. I've never seen Days of Thunder.
I saw it once, long time, obviously because it's an 80s movie. But I was never a big racing movie fan or even racing fan like NASCAR or stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably why.
4 hours of left-hand turns.
Yeah. I think that's why I never really got interested in seeing it.
I never saw Talladega Nights because of that very reason.
Oh, I watched Talladega Nights because of Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, but that's the reason why, not because of the racing.
I like them too, but when I just dislike something so much, I don't need to put that in there.
You know what? I can't even say if it holds up yet, Talladega Nights, because I've only seen it once, which is when it first came out. But it was around that time where, all those funny comedies were coming out that maybe it holds up. You should try it and report back. Report back to the street, Corey.
The street?
The street.
I am the man on the street, like Billy Eichner.
Mind you, I was never really into the military either, and I loved Top Gun, so I don't see why.
Oh, because I was never big in the military, but I loved In the Army Now.
Yeah. Pauly Shore. Isn't it Pauly Shore? Yeah. And Billy Zane, too. Isn't Billy Zane in that?
No, Andy Dick.
Who am I? What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Oh, wait. There was a Damon Wayans movie that was military themed.
That was Major Payne.
Major Payne. That's right.
Yeah, not even the same.
No, not
I have orange juice again. What are you rocking over there with your
a little decaf coffee?
I don't want to stay up.
And hey, listen, if I have caffeine past 6 p.m., I could podcast at 2 a.m. It keeps me up.
2 a.m. or 1 a.m. What is it? Who knows anymore?
Yeah, honestly.
Are deceiving us.
We accidentally ate dinner at 4:15 today.
Accidentally? Nice.
Well, we thought that it was 5:15. and we're
someone forget to set their stove?
Someone did, yes, someone did. And we're all eating, and we're each and every one of us about halfway through, and we're like, I'm pretty full. It's because we ate lunch not 3 hours ago. Like, okay.
I did that this morning. I forgot to change our bedroom clock. So when, like I said, Mr. Parker has a bad cough. So when I was up at what we thought was almost 6 was actually almost 5.
Jesus.
So I'm putting the TV on to watch TV. I'm like, I think the repeat of the 11:30 news is going to be on. And it's like, no, it's not for another hour and a half. Like, son of a bitch.
It would have been, if this was like 30 years ago, it would have been that time where the channel was just off and there was no broadcasting. Remember that? That was That was wild. If you stayed up that late or woke up in the middle of the night to that,
for this channel to come back on, yeah.
you know.
And they have their like intro video when the channel first comes on. You know, flag and showing like Parliament and all that stuff, telling you everything about.
Amazing.
I miss those days.
Yeah, the simplicity of it, right, Corey?
Yes, simplicity of it. They have to fill airwaves with anything and everything.
How is
infomercials? Halloween?
Yeah.
Good, busy. A lot busier than we thought it was going to be.
In what sense of handing out?
Everybody was out. Yes. So, what we typically do is we pull the kids out slightly early from school because we go visit family that live around here.
How early are we talking here?
Like if they get out at 3:35, I pick them up. Yeah, I pick them up at 3. So this way they're not, getting on the bus. The bus comes in home after 4.
Education.
They're rushing to eat. Then we're doing the drive, come home. So, but this year my dad, instead of going to visit him, he said, "Do your running around. We'll come to you just before the kids go out. This way, you don't have to worry about rushing to get home." So he did that, and then he decided, "Hey, we're gonna go out with you guys." But we like to have somebody at the house because if we're gonna get candy, we want to give it out too. This is good. You don't. It's only fair.
It's back and forth. Yeah, it's two-way street.
Give what you receive. So again, I hung back, but that's just because that's what we have been doing. I did not know my father and stepmom were going to go out. So Ashley was like, "Oh, okay." Didn't know this was happening, but it's fine. They had fun. But then while we were giving candy out, I was running low. Thankfully, they came back for their unloading. So then we picked through what typically they're not going to have and then re-gift. But we had probably over 100 people. And any other year, we've probably had like 30, 40, but we were more than double.
So you re-gift the candy that you don't want. That's brilliant.
Yeah, if they're still coming, right? Because then it's
then
it's like, hey.
Never thought of that. I mean, we don't waste our candy because Oliver, with his peanut allergy, any peanut candy, O. Henry's and whatnot, he gives to Arlo, and then they do a trade, so they still get their full load.
Nice.
But that's a very interesting approach. I like that.
It's that, or we put it away, and then that's what we have ready to go for next year.
Now, you missed a huge opportunity in bringing a wagon with you, which in our household, we're into year 2 of the wagon, and it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Waters, dumping the bags into the wagon. It's great. It's great.
How long are you guys out for?
2 hours, I would say.
Yeah,
so the older boy had some of his friends, and then it was Arlo tagging along. But Arlo, being the younger brother, he wanted to stay ahead and be in front. And so he was just beelining it down the street, where the point, like, it was hard for us to keep up with him with the wagon, because he just wanted to be a house or two ahead of Oliver and his friends, which he was, I'd say, for a good little start. But we can actually pinpoint with accuracy the moment his endurance hit a wall, where he crossed the street, and he's like, I just need to stop. He's all red in the face.
It's getting late. We should start to head back.
Yeah. You know what? There was a blessing in disguise, though.
The first instance of, since you brought up friends, of kids coming over trick-or-treating at our house asking, "Oh, where's Parker?" I'm like, "Oh, he just left here. He's over here." So they beeline for him. And then we get moms texting us saying, "Hey, we're over here asking about Parker." So then he meets up with his friends, and then that's his second wind.
It's like a pinball machine. Ding, 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 ding. Arlo went to a house. Clearly, his approach was, I don't care if there's no lights on, no decorations. I'm taking the chances. Door to be knocked on. If there's a door to be knocked on, yes, exactly. I'm knocking on that door. So he knocked on such door, and an old lady opened it up. And she's like, "Oh, just hold on." And we're on the end of the driveway, so we can't quite hear what she's saying, but we can hear that there's a conversation going on, or see that there's a conversation going on. And she goes, and then she comes back. Anyway, closes the door, comes back. I'm like, what happened? He's like, "She gave me an apple." So clearly, this lady did not have any candy.
Nope.
Did not mean for anyone to come to her door. Someone did, and was persistent in Arlo. And she gave him an apple out of the fridge. And I was like, that's a really, I mean, we're not going to keep the apple. We'll find some other use for it. But you probably made her day. You know, a nice little old lady. You know, giving
Yep.
away something, making her feel a part of Halloween again. So, but that easily took up about 5 minutes. I was like, "You're killing some good clock here, lady. You are killing some good clock."
You're lucky it wasn't like some like dish detergent or like a stapler or something like in Grumpy Old
Yeah,
Man.
or like yeah, exactly, or a pencil.
Yeah,
Remember,
pencil.
I
Like a
received a
Sharpie.
pencil with an eraser back in the day, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, teacher."
You approach any houses that have like just the basket out with the take one, please.
I think that's becoming more and more of a thing because I would imagine if you asked that question 5, 10 years ago, it was not that common,
No.
and now it seems like it's almost every third or fourth house. And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate because you see all these videos on like Facebook, like I'm a part of these groups, like for our neighborhood or whatnot. People post photos from their Ring camera, and like so many videos that I see of just the first person dumping the whole bowl in their bag. And it's like, come
That
on,
happened
dude.
to us last year.
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, so we were coming back, so we had it out just in case we were late getting home. And yeah, sure enough, as we're pulling up, the kids are leaving, and I checked our camera. It was the first group just right in the bag.
See, and that's when you'd want to be dressed up and hidden with the intent of frightening someone and just sit back and catch those assholes that do that. And then they're like, ah, and then you can ask for the candy back and say, you know what, you're getting nothing. As a matter of fact, I'm taking all your candy, bitch. No.
As the night went on, I did get a couple. Can I also get another one for my friend who's over here? And I'm just like, I'm gonna want to wrap this up. The faster
Yeah.
my bowl's empty, we're done here.
But there's something to be said about the timing of when you go out because you don't necessarily want to be the very first person to go out onto the street.
You let the little ones go out when the sun's still up.
Right. But then also, if you're thinking about inventory that you receive, if you're early on in the schedule, you're hitting houses that are trying to limit what they're giving out because they want to make sure that they can give it out to more people. Whereas if you go and find that sweet spot where they're like, shit, I don't know how many more kids we're going to get, but we have, 2 bowls full, and, here, take 5. That's when you score.
Yeah. Ours for me was kind of like in the middle of that because I ran out of the stuff that we were planning to give out. I went through the stuff that we were not going to keep, but then I had to hit our reserves until the kids came back to unload for the second time. So I was kind of like parceling some stuff, but not too much. Still worth like here's a piece of chocolate with a piece of candy, and there you go.
Yeah,
hits you in both hands.
We stopped by a house actually just down the road here, and they were giving out little cups of beer for the parents. So I took one. Figured why not? Just a little sampler size. Like, oh, that's nice. Nice little sip or two for the walk home.
Well, because it was gorgeous, right? It was like
it was actually
degrees.
Yeah, the rain held off. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, we got lucky. We finished just as the sprinkling started. So it was like, hey, perfect time. It's gonna start raining. Walking in the door.
And now the last 72 hours have been about how can I expedite the diabetes with all of my sugar intake.
Oh yeah, that's at work. Everyone's bringing in their leftovers, or
yeah, it's a lot.
It seemed to be every second person's like, I had nobody, so here's have at it. No thanks.
Was there a Halloween theme yesterday?
The Halloween game that they had was the 29th.
Oh,
okay. The power outage game.
The power outage, yes, the talk of the town. How long was it actually out for? Like 15 minutes?
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Felt like an eternity.
All lights out, but then for us, it was another 10, 15 minutes until the internet came back up.
Oh, and that would have been that was probably the best part of the night for you.
Oh yeah.
Right?
But we're in 2024 now, where if you want to buy something, grab your phone and buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
So we just walk you through how to access that on your phone, and then we move on.
Let me show you how my job is becoming less and less
Yes.
required.
Well, you should know. You've been to Toronto. You've been to the
Yeah.
There's no open box office there. It's
No,
all just customer support. You want to buy,
no.
you have the means on your phone.
It's true. It's true. At least there, it was in Toronto more of a formality than anything. Like, check it off. Yes, we have a box office.
Yeah, like if I can push towards that, I would, because then I have some free nights.
Yeah.
Just remote from home, monitor everything, and then you're done.
I was looking at the schedule today to see how many more afternoon games there are. And I know you said this to me before, but man, oh man, February is a bare month.
Yes, that's when I'll actually be able to get some time off.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Isn't it, though?
So what's on the schedule for tonight?
Politics.
Politics, yes.
No,
Yes.
of course not.
Before
We'll just cry. We'll just cry about that Tuesday night.
That's right. This might be the last podcast ever. Who knows?
Well, I think as long as we don't make fun of him at all, then he won't start any wars.
Then we're okay. We're okay.
I think so. I believe that is the case.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
I think that's how politics works, yeah.
Just don't make fun of the guy who can't be made fun of, and you're A-okay.
Just check my records here. Yep, that is on the list.
Check notes.
Check notes.
But you watch SNL last night, since we were talking politics?
No, we had friends over last night, so we didn't get a chance, and I wanted to watch some of it before we started recording tonight, and we agreed that we'd just wait because we didn't want to stop it halfway through. But I really, really want to watch that intro or that lead-in.
It seems to be what you do now, right? You do your rounds around the States, and then you make a SNL stop.
Yep. Been doing it for years, but I'm sure it was pretty good. I love the cold opens. They're my favorite part, I think, of SNL next to Weekend Update.
The rest, man, the hit or miss.
You know what? It's hit or miss, right? Like, you can get some episodes that are really spot on, and then others where clearly the writers were having an off week. Did you watch the?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to avoid it as much as I can, because like I said, I'm looking for the depression to come on Tuesday night. So I just want to be happy until then. Although headphones need to charge, and this cable is rubbing up against everything, and I'm hearing it in my ear. It's driving me up the wall. So I'm going to try to move as little as possible.
Stay absolutely still. Let's just see, for the good listener and viewer, this is what I try and do to every episode, is to try and speak closely to my microphone, because I hate the sound of my voice on the episodes when they are released, but I can't figure it out. You're nice and clear and crisp, and I'm not. I try not to move. You're going to be forced not to move tonight. We'll see how that plays out.
Well, I guess I could sit like this, but no, because it's rubbing right here. It's driving me up the wall. I would switch them, but then the right's on the left and left's on the right, and you don't.
Then you'd fall over because your equilibrium would be out of balance. Just fall. I got something that came in last week, and it is one.
I was going to say, that's giant, man.
Giant HasLab. There we go. Marvel Legends HasLab comes complete with 3 different heads. This one here is the zombie one. 32 inches tall. Heavy as fuck.
Who's counting?
What's that, sorry?
This is 32 inches tall, but who's counting it?
Yeah, he is the second tallest Marvel Legends made to date, next to Galactus. So I'm going to put him here in hopes that he doesn't fall down.
Is now that could be a new thing, though? You're going to have the zombie head for the month of October.
You know what? That was not my intention, but I think now it will be my intention. I'm just, you know what, Corey? I'm just going to put this on the ground.
Yeah, I have a strong suspicion since you touched it, it probably would fall.
But yeah, like it's great articulation, design. The fingers are a bit So my trick is when you have joints or points of articulation that are stuck, I just take a hair dryer to it to loosen it up, which I haven't done yet. But this one, because there are so many different points of articulation, they're a bit jammed at the moment. So
shouldn't there only be two? Isn't that how the human finger works?
no, he's got one above the knuckle, and then one below the knuckle, and then one right at the very top where the palm meets the finger.
I'm confused because that's again not how the hand works.
So you would be able to do that. Again, for the audio listeners, great time to consider watching us on YouTube.
Well, I had to play with my fingers. Trying to figure out.
Yes.
Yeah, like my finger bends here, but that should be 1, 2, 3. You said 4.
It's comic books, Corey. It's not real.
There's no truth in this medium.
There's no truth in this medium. That's right. Yeah. So it's a HasLab,
cool.
Much like the Galactus and a few others, ones that failed, but it's almost like crowdfunding. So you've got to decide to buy it. And then if it hits a certain goal, then it goes into production. And then if you pass,
that's like those Lego ideas, right?
Is that how ideas works too? Yeah.
So yeah, someone put their idea on and fans voted if it hits a threshold or a required number of people who said they would support it or buy it, and then.
So it's the same thing. That's how I got the Galactus here. I'm not touching that. Maybe for another episode. They did one previous to Giant Man where it was Ghost Rider and his car.
Yep.
But it didn't hit the mark. And then previous to Galactus was the second one. The very first one was a Sentinel, which that did hit the mark, and then it went into production. I missed that. I wasn't into collecting at that point, but it was a giant Sentinel, 32 inches, I think it is. It was great. It looks great. So it makes it nice for when 45-year-olds want to play with their toys.
I was going to say, like, all my stuff's still in the box.
Is what I'm saying. So,
do you have space for all this stuff? Because I'm sure more are coming.
So I've got about 17 figures that are still in their boxes there that I need to open up. But I also have about 7 or 8 more shelves that I need to do. So enjoy this studio while you can, because over the holidays it's going to be going through a makeover. I'm going to paint the walls. I'm going to put more shelves up. It's going to be great. You may or may not see the slabbed CGC comics beside me on my left-hand side. You're right. You may not see the sketch over my right shoulder. You may.
Maybe more figures and figurines.
Yes.
Yeah, I have all my stuff, but it's all here, and there. So all you get to see is this nice television that's always off.
You should have something. You should have a movie playing in the background while we're recording, just on mute. It should always be.
Used to have just the show logo in the back.
What's that, sorry?
So show when we did it during furlough time, I used to have just the show logo, like the
there you go,
cover art in the background.
Yeah.
I could do that again.
Yeah, something to consider.
But instead, you can just see the grindhouse and these canvases of comic book covers.
Again, Open Color Podcast on YouTube. Open
Color Pod. Superior Spider-Man and Spider-Man.
I like that Superior Spider-Man. I still haven't. That's the new one, right? The Marvel Legends one.
Yeah. He just bends at the wrist. Sorry, I don't have the 4 points of articulation. And his ankle, he can roll his ankle. About it.
He can bust his ankle.
This guy's got a bit of, like, his shoulders. He can look more buff.
Right, like flexing, or as the intended purpose for Spider-Man, design it so he could be swinging from his webs.
Yeah.
And he's stretched out like
look at this. Look at those muscles on him. Yeah,
It's like, is that Arnold under there?
Maybe.
Hey.
Look, see, I touched it and then it fell. Like, here we go.
Believe me, it's the story of my life. I've got about 10 or 15 that are knocked over. And then this wall is connected to Oliver's closet. So every time he slams closed his dresser or whatnot, all of these figures fall down and I shake my fist.
Children.
Can't wait till you move out. No, I can't wait till he moves out. Of course.
He'll be soon. Motherfucker, shouldn't have touched it. All right, let's talk about some stuff. Righty. Well, before we go into the big thing, which I think we'll probably do after the break, it'll be more of an in-depth conversation. Now this is still. Let me just turn. What? Okay, you've already watched it. I said I was going to show it again. Little sizzle reel of Marvel television comic properties in upcoming in 2025. So, quick little video, and then
It's gonna get good.
It's been some time, hasn't it? You've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
I wonder if your darker half would agree. Exactly what kind of a lawyer are you? A really good one.
Miss me!
Oh!
I want to build something undeniable.
Anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done.
Up for an adventure?
The battle they will sing about for ages.
You can slate whenever you're ready.
Simon Williams, reading for Wonder Man.
I was born to play this character. And we both have a lot riding on this. You better not mess this up. I know.
I am ready.
Let's give the people what they came for.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We have a long road ahead of us. Much to do.
Oh my God!
all right. Lot to unpack there. So, summarize. We don't need to worry about Deadpool. We talked about that, and that's not really anything new. So, 2025, from Marvel Animation, Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies, and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Initial quick thoughts on those. Any? And What If Season 3?
Marvel Zombies, I'm really excited about. I'm looking forward to What If Season 3 because I enjoyed the first 2 seasons, and I figure the more that they give us the, I just wish that the What If was a bit more like the comic books, where they didn't create like a common thread throughout the season. I just wish they just had kind of the stories that we wanted to hear. Yeah. What if Daredevil, didn't become blind and it was Foggy Nelson or whatever the case might be, right? Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, it looks good. It's not going to be high on my priority to watch unless, it gets good ratings. Eyes of Wakanda, maybe, if I have time. That's it. So, Zombies, What If, Spider-Man, Eyes of Wakanda, in order.
And with Marvel Television, Daredevil's back, Ironheart, and Wonder Man.
Okay,
obviously.
So obviously
Daredevil.
Ironheart is top of the list for me. No,
I could not care less about that.
Yeah, if there was, if there was, there's only 3 options, I'll put it at 7th.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the need for it is. I have trust that Daredevil will be just as good as it was when it was on Netflix. Again, though, I can't get past the fact that Wilson Fisk is not as ominous as he once was. Like when they're sitting in the diner having coffee, they're sitting across from one another, and they almost look the identical size to one another.
Yeah.
Like they almost look identical. There's no like he should be fucking massive, and he's just not. And I feel like that's his age showing. Like it's now been what Daredevil came out 2013, I want to say, so it's been at least 10.
Yeah. Mhm.
So for Vinny, yeah, and I guess maybe the angles and the camera shots, whatever, they need to perhaps focus on doing that to make him look larger now. But they're kind of moving away from it, I guess, and they're talking not so much about his physical stature, but more of his presence, you know, or
it's omnipresence, right?
It's omnipresence, yeah. And then fucking Wonder Man.
Wonder Man has me intrigued.
Yeah. I like the character, Simon Williams. I'm curious to see what angle they're going to take with him. If it's going to be pacifist Simon Williams or non-pacifist Simon Williams. But again, I mentioned to you, and I'm saying it here again, I didn't realize that there was a huge yearning for Trevor Slattery. Fuck.
Apparently.
What is going on? Are we missing something? Did we miss?
We are. Yes, I think so.
And it's the same jovial, idiotic, trying to be the comedic presence, and I don't get it.
Yeah, it comes across. It's like it's something that Kevin Feige finds funny that we just all have to endure.
Now, I was gonna say that you get to a certain age and you can't be the comedic presence in a TV show or a film or what have you. I was gonna say that, and I did say that, but then I think of like Martin Short, and he's in his 70s, and he's pretty hilarious in Only Murders in the Building.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say that, but just with this character, I don't get it. Like I get the feeling that Feige or whoever is continually trying to find a spot to have him be in the MCU, and he's
sure.
It tried in Iron Man, tried in Shang-Chi. You know what? Now we're going to try in Wonder Man. Nothing's going to stick. Nothing's going to land. Yeah, they're still going to make that attempt.
Oh yeah, they're going to keep trying. They'll beat this horse into the ground.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, like I think the idea of for Wonder Man, the like a world of superheroes, to have an actor playing a superhero who's eventually going to be a superhero is a different take.
Yep. It's and I guess I'm kind of curious on what their approach is now on these TV shows, and are they going to move away from trying to tie it into the theatrical releases and just treat them as their own one-off pockets within the MCU? Because if they do that, then I feel like I can get more on board. But if they try to have a common thread with the movies, I don't know that I'm going to be as invested. You would, on the surface, think that I should be more invested because of that very reason. But I would almost prefer them to just have their own little story. And if they become really popular, if the show is a massive hit, maybe after a season or two, then you consider putting him into a future Avengers movie. But don't make that decision before you're even releasing the show.
Right.
Because then you're going to disappoint the fans. You're going to disappoint yourselves, perhaps.
But you run the risk of the opposite. You can have do a Nova series that nobody watches on Disney Plus, so then now the character's wasted. They don't put them in a movie. They don't do anything. They don't do a second season.
Yeah, but are we really still at that point where you can waste a character on Disney Plus after so many people have Disney Plus, the exposure to it, like you see commercials, like Rogers now offers it as part of their TV package. I'm sure other providers.
No, I understand that. But do you see a She-Hulk happening anytime soon?
No, but was that more of a victim of the previous direction that the stakeholders had for Disney Plus, where it was just fucking get the content out there, and that's
Well, I
the
think it
reason
was
why.
a bit of both. It was really expensive. It wasn't well received. The CGI was crap. And it was
Terrible.
very expensive.
25 million an episode, wasn't it? 25
Yeah.
million an episode.
So one of those, it was like up there with Avengers and Infinity War. Infinity War and Endgame, like was one of the more expensive projects that they did.
Yeah, it's that's crazy when you think about that, eh? That it's up there with Endgame and Infinity War. She-Hulk.
Because
right, that's what you would think would be the third most expensive property by MCU. My God,
all those computer graphics are not cheap, apparently.
But I think I'm okay with 4 to 6 properties a year. Ironheart and Eyes of Wakanda, I'm not really interested in either. So 4 of the 6 I'm pretty interested in. And I could be okay with that. Again, as long as they take the approach that they're just going to tell the story on Disney Plus, like on Marvel Television, and not trying, muddy the waters between the two.
I would say you don't want a situation where you're rolling into Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, going, Wanda has kids. Yeah, you didn't watch WandaVision?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, would I like to see Simon Williams on one of the future Avengers movies because he used to be a part of the Avengers? Absolutely. But it needs to be done the right way.
Because we are going to have that with Thunderbolts, right? I just realizing that now. Because if you didn't watch the Captain America series, you're not going to know anything.
Yeah.
You're not going to know that Sam is Captain America now. You're not going to know about U.S. Agent.
I wonder if after the Doomsday or after Secret Wars, they're obviously going to be coming up with new Avengers movies. They're going to be able to recharacterize or recast these characters. And maybe you would recast a Simon Williams or a Wanda or those characters that are on the television show Moon Knight and have them be the main Avengers in the new theatrical versions. I don't know. I'm confusing myself as I'm saying this. I think let's just hope for the love of God that Marvel Studios knows what they're doing.
Hey, you think right now, if they're leading towards something where they're going to reboot everything, that if you're introducing a new character, do you do so with the thinking that this person is going to continue, or do we go swing big, get this guy now, and have your second one for when everything's rebooted, so then we can have this younger person in the role moving forward?
Oh. Yeah, I would say go get someone big. But I don't know.
Because you get Keanu to be Ghost Rider now, knowing that it's not going to be him.
Or if you get like Henry Cavill to be Captain Britain or Wolverine, or you
keep Hugh around until Secret Wars, but it's going to be Cavill moving forward.
Yeah, that's a tough question. Maybe you do a bit of both, right? Maybe you do.
See what sticks.
Yeah, but I don't care how you get there. I think once they reboot the movies or have the ability to reboot the franchises within the MCU, they need to go young, much like they did with Spider-Man and Tom Holland. They need to almost do a young Avengers and watch Tony grow up. They need to. Or we're going to have Secret Wars every 10 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of reboots, we were talking about this. So Blade may or may no longer be happening. We don't know. The Mahershala Ali led Blade feature is no longer on the release calendar for Marvel in 2025. I think it was November. Oh no, I think it was July. I think that's what Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be taking the spot of.
Yeah.
So do we go with what was said in Deadpool and Wolverine? There's only one Blade, and it's Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to get?
I think the Deadpool and Wolverine movie was the final nail in the coffin of this Blade reboot.
Yeah.
I feel like fans are now on board with Wesley coming back and doing Blade, and maybe, him coming into his own Blade movie leading into Secret Wars. And then, as we were just talking about with the last topic, having him have his swan song for that character, introducing someone young, someone new for the new MCU. But I mean, how many times are you going to kick the can down the road with this property before you just say, you know what, let's just fucking kill it? And I feel like this is, I get the sense that this is the one this is the straw that broke camel's back, as it were.
Well, there is a rumor now
Uh-oh.
saying that maybe Blade's solo pick is pushed down the line because they want to do a Midnight Suns first.
With who? All you have right now is Moon Knight, and you have one of the Blades.
Who knows?
But Midnight Suns, it's so niche that it's going
Maybe they want to just jump ahead and bring in Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, let's be honest here. The Ghost Riders were not the best put together movies in Marvel's pickle trunk, and so to lead in even Moon Knight, it was a hit or miss with some of the viewers. You can't go into an ensemble movie like that, it being a niche group, a not as well-known group with those characters. You can't do it. They would be better served to introduce them individually and then commence, or at least, finish off with that Midnight Suns, much like the Defenders. Yeah. Netflix's Defenders.
Also a miss for viewers.
Iron Fist was the best part of that whole team.
Of course.
Right?
I love Iron Fist. That's a hill I'll die on.
That's right. He is the best.
Of course.
That's it. Show's over.
Danny Rand. That's my guy. That's my man. I can't. No, fuck Iron Fist.
Yeah. You held out long enough. That's good. That's good.
It's better than the holding in the coughs. We deep dove on Moon Knight, right? Like, what was your thoughts? Yeah. It got me, then lost me, and then really lost me towards the end. But then interested me after that when Jake shows up at the end.
Yeah, that part interests me. It's same thing. So it had me, lost me, and then brought me back in. But only one of my foot was brought back in.
You weren't back all in.
But I like that character, and so I think that's what was getting me through the show. Because if I had no interest in Moon Knight whatsoever, I could have easily dropped that show. But I stayed on because of who it was.
Hey, it's a superhero with some mental issues.
Yep.
You don't see that every day.
Right? They at least not exposed or talked about or focused on.
There is also a rumor on that. There is no season 2. They're just going to take that and make it a movie.
Yeah, why not?
I truthfully believe it would probably work better, more episodic.
Yeah. I don't think it's earned the
No, and I don't think there's the fan base that would go out and see it, that type of character in a theater.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's just me.
Yep, that's a good point.
Okay, we go a quick little pivot from Marvel over to DC. I think I still have it open. Seem to be hit or miss with the yes.
Slide just worked. There we go.
So, these are 7 big rumors about DC properties, a DCU specific, that apparently James Gunn has recently debunked as not being factual. Now, that's the one difference I find with him versus Marvel, is that we hear a lot of shit on Marvel side and we have to just speculate and never find out, but he's quick to shoot it down.
Hold on. You say that though, and we still don't have any released property from his vision.
Yes,
so
this is true.
We're taking him for face value right now, saying that they're debunked.
I know,
What if he's doing
and
all this
I don't
to
know
throw
how
us
well
off?
you can take him from his word because he did say The Flash was one of the best superhero movies ever made.
Yeah, so maybe he's just trying to throw us scent off.
So one thing, we will not be getting a back-to-back filming of the Batman Part 2 and 3. That one to me
Okay.
seems obvious.
Yeah. Thanks, James.
There is no they're not working on any specific Batman games that's going to be set within their DCU. There was a
Okay.
rumor that came out like a Arkham type game. Still, nobody has been cast as Batman. They haven't even begun.
Mhm.
His thing is script first, then casting, which makes sense.
Yeah. I
Because
would
look,
actually prefer
we have
that.
Blade cast in no movie.
Yeah. And then also it depends on, is it going to be a Batman Beyond Bruce Wayne or a Robert Pattinson Year One Bruce Wayne? Like, that's a huge
Well,
difference.
their
between
movie
those two.
that they're working on, right, is Brave and Bold, right,
Okay. So established Bruce Wayne.
with Damian. They still have no script writers for the new Batman movie, so great. That's what you want. A movie that's supposed to be coming out relatively soon. And
Yeah.
we have a title, we have a director, but we have no one slated to write it.
This is beginning to sound more of like James Gunn just saying, "We got nothing.
Yeah.
We got nothing.
I
planned.
told you
No
what we're
video
going to
games.
make, but we're nowhere near making it.
I have a concept of a plan, but not a plan. We need the
There
script
was-
first."
So there's rumors going that James Gunn's going to do like a Guardians-esque soundtrack for Superman. Like he seems to do with all his movies, not just
Mhm.
Guardians, but like the Suicide Squad. And there was a rumor that Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping was going to be in the movie.
What is that?
So quick to shoot that down.
Yeah.
Just because it played it.
Very, very important updates. Soundtrack updates, video game updates, no script updates, no actor updates. We got nothing.
One more, or sorry, two more. Booster Gold. So apparently there's supposed to be a Booster Gold series. I'm assuming HBO Max or Max, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I could definitely be down for that.
It is happening, but it's not imminent. No production started. There's a rumor saying that it was going to start anytime. But again, nothing. But did you hear who's supposed to be rumored for that project? This one he did not confirm nor deny.
As Booster Gold. Is he Caucasian?
No.
Okay, then I don't know.
The original, I think some people thought it was going to be Chris Pratt because they're buddies.
He would be the perfect Mike. Who?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Why do I know that name?
He was in Immortals. He's also in Silicon Valley. He's a comedian.
Silicon Valley. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look him up. Chris Pratt would be amazing. Booster Gold is comedic. He's funny. He's not serious. He's exactly what Star-Lord was in the MCU. Exactly. But maybe you don't want to typecast Chris Pratt into that kind of role.
It seems to be already typecast into that sort of role.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it started with Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, hey, if he's good at it, right?
And as sure you can have guessed from the big screen grab here, another villain movie, Mr. Freeze, apparently is in the works. And James Gunn explained that he's heard some of those rumors, but no truth to it whatsoever. I mean,
I could watch it. I could watch a Mr. Freeze series or movie. Maybe not a movie, because I feel like you need to kind of get the backstory of him and his wife and the illness, and then him in that slow descent into madness. So I don't know that a movie would do it, but a TV show could.
I'm also of the idea of exposition could take all the way for you.
Yeah,
like we got that in Batman and Robin. Literally some fucking they're watching surveillance videos of Arnold falling in the vat, and they talk about his wife. Boom, done.
Just like that.
Although I still don't know,
Spider-Man
you could do a Arkham Asylum series where each episode is a villain.
I would really like them to maybe try and redo. No, you know what? I gotta watch Gotham because maybe that's exactly what I'm looking for. Is those fringe characters? Well, Mr. Freeze isn't fringe, but
Hey, they have an episode with Professor Pig, so
see, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay.
Despite its flaws and me despising it, sitting through it afterwards, I'm like, you know, I dug it and watched it all the way through.
Despite the fact that it's network television, it's okay.
Yep. It's okay for what it was. That's all you got to go with.
Thanks, James Gunn, for giving us all of that information.
So yes, to summarize, we got nothing. We know nothing. We got nothing.
That's right. We have the concept of a plan, but we got nothing.
Concept of a plan. There you go. We talked about this before. And because of that, here's your ad break. Enjoy.
Is talking on the phone getting out of hand? Look out! You need phone relief. The ultimate in hands-free phone design. Watch. Simply attach the special double back fastener to any phone. Then attach the phone relief headset. It's that easy. Hands-free, pain-free. You'll wonder how you ever lived without it. It's perfect for remotes. Now talk hands-free anywhere, anytime. Office work is a pain for Mr. Phone in the Neck, but you won't miss a beat with hands-free freedom. A must for the entire office. Work goes quicker and easier. The padded headset removes this easily and is fully adjustable. Best of all, Phone Relief works with your favorite phone, an amazing breakthrough product you'll use every day. Now only $12.95. Call toll-free to order by credit card and make this your last Phone in the Neck call.
Call now 1-800-862-1000. Our operators are giving tremendous discounts on additional units. That's 1-800-862-1000. Or send check or money order to the...
It's giving tremendous discounts on additional units.
That's right.
There's just...
We were a special kind of stupid in the 90s.
They, I would imagine that they made a fucking killing on this, though, when it first came out.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean... Who would still like to be a part of that meeting while they're barbecuing? You know, why wouldn't you? Hold on a second. I've just got to flip my burgers.
I mean, like, who needs AirPods? Just two-way tape and an old headphone.
You know, I will give it credit where it's due in that, you know, you always hear about that $1 million idea or something that's just so simple it's stupid.
Yes.
That's an epitome of it's so simple it's stupid, but
yeah, someone just took their old like metal headphones, popped the little earmuff part of it off, and then just put two-way tape on their their phone device.
The Dragons would be all over this. They'd be all over this. And I like how you can pack it and take it with you at the end of your day. So when you're done, you can just unhook, put it in your pouch. But wait, there's more. A pouch comes with it too.
Yeah, all those call centers. Everyone's showing up for their 12-hour shift.
Oh, and you know what? Just like you're in the 80s, you're just wearing the suspenders with the, you know, you're talking with this thing. And let me tell you, I got a great deal for you.
That's right.
Great deal for you.
Everybody wants to be like Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas in Wall Street.
That's right.
I've never seen that movie.
I'm surprised that I've never seen this prop used in an 80s movie where there's selling involved. Because surely this was in every office space for a 6-month period.
I think all the ones I can think of actually had the headsets that are actually hooked into their phones.
Oh, okay. So maybe this is just more like a domesticated option for the home.
Or somebody saw that and then it's like, you know what? How about we cut out the middleman and just make an actual headset for a phone and charge more.
I'm sorry, did it say how much it was?
It was $12.95.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So we'll say maybe $20, $25
$20 to get an
shipping.
actual headset
Wow.
at Radio Shack, because that would have been the one at the time.
No CODs though, I saw.
Oh,
No cash on delivery.
no, sir.
Okay. No checks. Is it checks or cash on delivery? I think it's cash on delivery. No CODs.
What a wild time. Yeah, I'll just write you a
Right?
check.
Like it's just the craziest of times. So much so that you could probably tell someone, like, if I sat Oliver down here right now and told him all of the crazy shit that went on 40 years ago, and we shared commercials like this, he'd be sitting there being like, no, absolutely
You
not.
could write theoretical future payments to people. Let me post-date this for you. Don't cash it on Friday. Yeah. Yeah, don't cash on Friday. Wait a couple of weeks before you put that through.
That's right.
I have to move some money around.
But you literally back then had to move the money around. Like it wasn't just like you literally had to go to the store. You probably had to. This might have even been before when you used to put your checkbook, and they used to like print off on the page where they literally had to write in your checkbook.
Yes,
this is your balance, sir.
I was in the bank with my mom when that happened.
Wow. Yeah, I remember going to the bank with my mom as a young kid.
Yeah, you couldn't put the paycheck in the machine. You had to go in and talk to somebody.
Yeah, and then they'd update your bank book.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was a kid, I wanted a bank book so bad because I thought it would make me look so mature and old, which it would have.
Yeah.
Right? And then I finally got one, and I think my first deposit was like $2, and I thought I was the richest guy in the whole world.
That's right.
Oh,
I have this book that shows how much money's in my bank. Aren't I cool?
That's right. It's a 0.12, 12 cents, sir.
That's right.
12 cents.
Cutting checks to kids. For pennies.
God damn. Simple times, man. I'm telling you.
Now you got a check. You can take a picture of the front and picture of the back, and it's in the bank. You don't
I've
even
never
have to go
done
anywhere.
that. I don't trust that shit. Send me an e-transfer.
I just did that recently. I got a government check that said I overpaid on my passport. I'm like, all right. I don't think I did, but all right.
Perfect. And you scanned it?
I did because I didn't feel like going to the bank.
Wow. Okay.
Like boom, it's in there. It's like hold on to your thing for like 8 to 10 days. Make sure it clears. I know. It is the government.
Interesting.
Are they running a deficit?
I like these commercials where it makes me think about how awesome those times were. Outside of toys, you know? Like little inventions that were just so simple, yet so wildly popular and amusing and funny.
Yeah, because again, it's a special kind of stupid in those commercials.
I wish someone would.
The amount of times they're sitting there typing and then like, oh no, like the phone falls and like the whole world is falling apart.
I just wish someone had the balls to say that in one of their infomercials. You know, it takes a special kind of stupid to buy this product, but you know what? If you do, you'll be.
If you act
so
now,
incredibly. If you act now, if you act now. Oh man.
Yeah, they're not like how they used to be. Now it's all for health and stuff, not for helping with an inconvenience.
I don't think I see any now. I think I see. I mean, I don't see them now. Maybe I'm just not watching the right channels, but I don't see them. I see, the pharmaceutical company.
More local things, local paid advertisement. And again, it's like we said, it's early in the morning when it usually would be off air.
You know what? I'm going to commit watching Rogers Television Channel 22 and see what local advertising is out there and what infomercials, if any, pop up. I might only make it like 20 minutes.
Try to get us on Rogers Local 22.
I should.
The Wayne's World.
I should. Maybe they'll do our own studio like this. Really, actually, what the viewers don't know and the listeners don't know, that this is actually a studio. You got a whole production in front of us, and
yeah, except with COVID rules, you can't be in the same room.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Deep diving into, since you have finished Agatha, the latest Marvel Studios television production, Agatha All Along, 9-episode probably only gonna be one season series on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I don't know how deep I'll go, but yeah.
Yeah, don't have to break the whole thing down.
Seen one
This is
episode one.
Continuation of the WandaVision story of Agatha Harkness and what happened to her post WandaVision, and where this leads us down the witch's road in the future of the MCU. Initial thoughts?
I had a really hard time getting into this show, and I only started to appreciate it, or at least put up with it, maybe is a better way of saying it, during episode 6 or after episode 6. No, 6, 7, 8, 9, the last 4. I found it mildly interesting. Catherine Hahn, I think she's a great actress. I think she provided a good, healthy mix of comedic timing throughout the episodes.
Yep.
As someone who's not really overly interested in magic, certain points of the episode made it so that I was interested in learning more about it. But I had this constant feeling in the back of my mind that this just doesn't mean anything. And I think once I realized that it was not going to mean anything in terms of being tied into future shows or whatever, I think that's when I was also like, okay, I'll just watch it and enjoy it for what it is, but I'm not going to expect anything big and grand coming out of it. Spoilers, we should probably do that. Spoilers for anyone that may have not finished it. I thought all along that the teen was her son, but I think it was staring at us throughout every episode that it was in fact Billy. But then he got me confused at one episode where it's like, okay, maybe is he Tommy now? Like I like it was starting to confuse me. But yes, overall,
he's looking for Tommy.
Overall, it was okay. Again, slow start, faster finish. I'll pass over to you before we get more into detail.
Yeah, like you. Like the first episode, I had a hard time getting through with the whole like CSI Law and Order type cop show. I'm like, we're doing this again. Like I know we left Agatha in WandaVision where she's like put back under a spell to not know that, who
but
she was and what.
Did you remember that? Like that was the thing.
I did. I've watched WandaVision enough.
Oh, you did? Okay. So for me, I didn't see it since it finished, and so I was a bit disconnected on like where are we at here with the CSI thing. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah, I got in. The way I remember it is like, she's put in a spell to, I guess, basically think that what was it, Westview, West Side? I can't remember the
Westview.
Westview was still an actual place, so she's back to being whatever, a resident of the town, not knowing that she was who she actually was. But I didn't think it was you're living in a TV show again, which is what Wanda's whole life for herself was. So that took me out of it, and then, like you said, like it's the mystery of who this is, mystery of who Rio is, mystery of like where is this going, the Witch's Road, what is all this, what's the path they're all taking. To me, again, I don't like the idea of something drawn out just because they got to fill 9 episodes.
Yeah,
and I felt that's what this whole show was. Is this is where we're starting, this is where we're end. Let's just throw obstacles. I don't. It's not related, but in this context of what I'm trying to explain is, there's a video I've seen online of Trey and Matt from the South Park guys discussing how they break story. They always live by the credo of this happens, therefore this happens, and because that happens, this happens. This all is a bad storytelling is more this happens and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens. And I feel that's what Agatha was. We have to get here. So this happens and then this happens and then this happens, rather than we're doing this, therefore this has to happen.
This has
to get
to
us
happen.
to here. But it didn't seem that way. Like everything, every episode was us leading us to the end, but it was still self-contained. That didn't really give us anywhere until episode 6. At that point, we're at the finish line almost.
Yeah, the trials, like the first trial, the second trial, the trial up to the tarot cards, which I think was episode 6, were just too campy for me. And
Yes.
on my best day, I can't put up with musicals. So when you had the trial for Alice being a musical, when you had them singing, the singing in between, like, it just takes me right out. Sure, there's people that like musicals, but that's just not for me. But yeah, like, it started to come together for me on the tarot card episode for Lilia, her trial. I really enjoyed it because it was an episode, I think the first one of the show, that to me anyway showed a bit of thoughtfulness that was put into the script for that episode, where they were trying to tell her character's story full circle. I will say, having said that, though, that there were moments within that episode where I was beginning to get lost, in the sense that I was questioning myself, like, well, did she really, like, there was beginning to be one too many callbacks in that episode, where it would revert her to somewhere in the past and somewhere in the future, and time jump for her character in that show. And I was like, was she saying those random things in that time that we were brought back to? Because if it was, I didn't notice it, or it didn't stick out to me. Maybe it did for you. Where she'd blurt out these things and it would all tie back to her tarot card trial.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe she did. I never went back and checked. I was like, fuck, I'm not too invested in the show to do that. But
yeah, it's just there were too specific of things to call back to.
It felt more like 6. It felt like she did that numerous times, not just a couple.
Oh, sorry, my 2 is in TOO, like too specific.
Oh, yes.
Not
okay.
too specific things.
Okay, yeah. That's it. It was a bit too specific. And I was kind of teetering on the, okay, you're losing me, you're bringing me back in. But I liked how it showed her as a young kid talking to whoever, I'm guessing her mentor, her tutor.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. Yeah, and then it finished off where it was, are we now to assume that Billy Kaplan is more stronger than Doctor Strange and or Wanda if she decides to come back?
It seems to be what they're doing, right, with these Marvel shows. Like, we have, I can't remember her name, in Secret Invasion, that Skrull who now has the power of every superhero out there. So now this character is stronger than a Thanos. Like, we have now Billy Wiccan is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Maybe is that their way of validating his place in the inevitable Young Avengers that comes out? Yeah, because before that he was like a bumbling idiot, whereas now it's like, yeah, he can pretty much do anything that he wants. I mean, he created the road. I did really like how they could have finished on episode 8. I felt.
I was actually just going to say episode 9 to me seemed completely, it was like an episode designed to be a stinger at the end.
Yeah. And I felt they did a really nice job of portraying how old Agatha was, how she got to become the person that she is, and just the different periods within the last 200 years. I thought that was pretty cool. But have I maxed out on my Agatha need? Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I don't know where this is setting. Are they setting up for appearance in a movie, or I don't think you can have a season 2. But I definitely will not watch a season 2 where it's her, Billy and Ghost Agatha walking around trying to find Tommy.
I was actually thinking about you as I was watching the last episode when she was ghosting around, because I know, and we all know, that you are not a fan of villains that are being portrayed as heroes, or when we cheer for them. And I did find that there were more often than not, I shouldn't say more often than not, there were definitely a lot of times though where she was written to almost have people feel sorry for her, knowing full well that she's going to betray them, she's going to backstab them, but trying to be portrayed as, you're rooting for Agatha. And I was like, oh, I bet you Corey's just pissed off. Or not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
she screwed everybody over, and then she screwed them all over again. But yeah, she's supposed to be the hero here.
Yeah.
And then like screwing over the love of her life, Lady Death, right? When she's supposed to be giving her Billy, but it was another coup where she was not going to follow through with that.
Yeah, so I guess there was a huge need for Death to be brought in, and I guess not Thanos.
That's what I said. Like, you literally got that teased back in the first Avengers movie, and this whole saga later. Here's Death.
They call that the long play, Corey.
Well, I know, like, it's literally a line in that movie, like, oh, this is what they're gonna do, but no, he did it because fucking resources.
Agatha's color's purple, Thanos's color's purple. Maybe Agatha is Thanos and just completely mind.
Lady Death's color was green. Maybe she's more into with Loki.
Oh,
she was a green witch.
Yeah. Yeah. So it happened.
It was a thing.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
No, we survived it. That's the main thing.
That's it. I powered through like I think the last 5 episodes on Friday.
Let me ask you this. So, how do you feel that Billy and Tommy are just, I guess, lost spirits and not actual people? They're inhabiting whenever they find Tommy, will then inhabit somebody else.
I think that's the only way you can make that work, given that it's a figment of Scarlet's.
Well, that's my thing. If it's a figment of her, if she conjured these up and then it was fake, should they not exist, period?
It's chaos magic, though. That's the thing. We don't fully
chaos
understand
magic that's multiversal?
That was what was proven in Doctor Strange's movie.
I know, but they could have, like, if they exist in this universe, then you just take those kids from there. You don't have to conjure up there's this specific 616 if that's the Earth we're going with.
Corey, they're too busy writing a script for Trevor Slattery and not trying to solve this really irrelevant question you're asking. It's about Trevor Slattery and Wonder Man. Put all the focus on him, Corey.
That's right. Ben Kingsley's The Hill Will Die On.
Jesus Christ. Have you not learned anything?
I have not. Clearly.
Yeah. No, I think I'm okay with them being, spirits in the
It almost comes across as like we wrote ourselves into a corner here and we're going Young Avengers. We got to bring them back somehow.
That's it. Like, oh shit, we're doing Young Avengers now? Okay. I'll be back in 10 episodes.
And you also didn't care that there was no post-credit scenes in any of the 9 episodes?
I didn't even care to check, honestly. It was like
we've moved past this now.
It was great because
not a big deal.
I'd look and see at how long an episode was, and it would say 35 minutes. I'd be like, yes, it's actually 28. Because apparently it's like 7-minute credits. Like, I don't know. I just fast forwarded the next episode.
That's all the graphics, right?
But I do intend on finishing Ahsoka this week.
The H is before the S.
Okay. Ahsoka.
And where are you on the Penguin?
I'm going to start that again. I watched about 3/4 of the first episode, and I want to finish because I'm almost there. I think I got like 3 episodes left. Once that's done, I'm going to pick up. I'm all about finishing shows, Corey.
I know. This is a new year. I like it.
It's a new me. So I just, because of that, I got to make sure I'm watching only a few at a time and not spread myself thin.
Yeah, I swear by that show. It's like,
how many more episodes do we have for Penguin?
I think there's 8. Could be 9. I think which one drops today? Let's see if I have my trusty old iPad ready to go. Episode 7 is tonight.
Shit.
And then
because I was gonna say, like, if
8 drops next week.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to finish it.
That's all she wrote.
I don't know if I'll be able to finish it in time.
See, the thing I like, and when we talk about it again, I'll say this again. I literally had this conversation earlier today, where I stand on Marvel and DC and stuff. This is in my wheelhouse, 100%. Like, not just because it's Batman, not just because it's comic related, but it's just a mob show. Like, you could take Oswald or Oz Cobb, as he's called, Oswald Cobblepot, out, and then just call him something else. They don't really say that it's Gotham all that much, and it's still a good show. It's got great acting. It's got a guy who's completely immersed. You don't know it's Colin Farrell whatsoever. And the characters are well written. The performances are brilliant, and it keeps you captivated from start to finish. Like, it is just a good show. We need more of this and less of what we just watched 9 episodes of.
So you could just say it's Jimmy Conway from Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you have me because Goodfellas is
ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a gangster. That's this show.
It does start off too. I remember like the first episode, boom, shoots him, the kid. Like, okay, that's pretty, intense within the first 10 minutes.
Fucking guy here. Hey, well, I'm trying to just.
And just because he got assaulted.
Boom.
Interesting. Okay. I will be watching it. I don't know if I'll finish it in time though for it just to be for when the last episode airs.
And if you like Pattinson's Batman and how this ties into it, brief little blurb at the beginning of the first episode, a couple of nods here and there of just what the Riddler did and where the city is, and that's all there is.
Nice. Okay.
And if it's what they say is true, this show ends right where Batman 2 is supposed to pick up.
Which they're starting to write and get a script for.
Yes.
All right.
Precisely.
And go ahead.
My expectation or rumor or thinking is the way this is going, because there's a lot of haves and a lot of have-nots. I gotta think Court of Owls is what the movie's going to be about.
Man, that'd be sick. If
you want to do something different,
no, I would be down for that. I'd definitely reread Scott Snyder's run if that were the case, because it was a good run.
I was going to ask you, you pick up or check out Absolute Batman?
No, so I ordered it from Scotty Young's website, and it's not coming till December. So I'm going to hold off on reading them.
My next thing I'm going to read is Aliens versus Avengers.
I read the first issue. It's really good.
I'm waiting for a second issue because they're single issues, right? So they're not super long. I'll at least have 2 to go off of.
Yeah,
I think the second one comes out next week, or it's sometime in November.
Yeah, and then there's also Predator versus Black Panther.
I read Predator versus Wolverine.
Oh, I read that first issue too. It was great.
Yep,
it was great. Hot takes or no?
Oh yeah, I have.
I have 2.
2. I have 2 as well.
Shall I go?
Going first.
I'll go. I'll go first. I'll go first. Okay. So, so there we didn't cover it because it happened about a month or so ago, and there was just a huge, influx of news that had come out. But on the quieter side of that news was that Henry Cavill was cast in the upcoming Voltron live action movie.
Yes.
It got me thinking that my bold prediction or my hot take is that in 20 years from now, maybe even less, Henry Cavill will be the most revered actor in pop culture history by the fans and by the industry as a whole, taking over for the likes of Harrison Ford, Samuel L. Jackson, Ian McKellen, Hugo Weaving, all of those names that I just mentioned played multiple different characters for multiple different properties, and have firmly planted their presence within pop culture. And I think Henry Cavill is there. If you look at what I just mentioned, Voltron, you've got Superman, you've got The Witcher, and those are just, you have Deadpool and Wolverine. You have the potential for him to play another character, perhaps a Captain Britain or a Beyonder. And those are just the comic properties. You could also now take a look at the more other pop culture literature, Sherlock Holmes, Mission Impossible, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So he's played a lot of different characters that are widely respected within our little community here. And so I feel that he's going to be that guy. He's going to be the guy.
Could I add one thing to strengthen or bolden your argument?
Sure.
He's a big Warhammer guy.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
He's got geek cred outside of the film and comic book stuff.
And I mean, I didn't mention Hugh Jackman because Hughes played one character. So when I was figuring,
he's played Dr. Van Helsing.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
But Van Helsing. 2 characters.
That's it. That's only 2. But so I tried to focus on those other actors that had multiple characters that they played.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's my hot take. That's my first hot take.
Yeah. Hugo's up there, right? Lord of the Rings, Matrix, Transformers, Red Skull.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's good.
I'll trade you that with The Hangover's not funny.
Oh, okay.
And I will strengthen that by the second movie's the exact same as the first one, and everybody hates it.
Okay, I can get into that one. I can get into that second part, yeah.
I think it's one of those movies that came out at the right time. People saw it, but over time, if you go back to it, it's not that funny. It's not funny to me at all. And as you said, we talked about Todd Phillips and his inability to do good sequels.
Right.
You found a formula, you ran it to the second one. People said this is just terrible, but again, you say it's just like the first movie, so therefore, odds would be it's not good either.
Todd Phillips also leveraging a young, up-and-coming rap artist for that movie, being Kanye West. So the soundtrack, like him or not, hopefully not. That soundtrack was widely huge and popular with that movie, so it lent to the popularity of it. And then you also factor in that it's taking place in Las Vegas and all this shit. It's the land of mystique.
Yeah,
it was a recipe for the lightning in a
and
bottle.
The bro comedy too, the Entourage fans are probably a big in on it.
Yep.
I'll give you another one.
Okay.
Not related to movies, television, geek cred whatsoever. This one's in the world of sports. I personally believe that hockey would be better without any of the violence associated with the sport whatsoever.
Oh, 100%.
I think
100%.
Like we were at the game yesterday. People freaking out over hits, checks, all that stuff. That shit just slows the game down. Like you are there to watch people score. Take all that shit out. You could probably have like lacrosse type scores in hockey.
Even in the preseason, Patrick Laine got injured knee on knee when they were playing against Toronto. And it's sickening because you're positioning yourselves as like a brother and it's a players union. We're all here, supporting one another, but then you want to go and decapitate someone that you're supposed to be standing side by side with. And it's preseason and there's no need for it. It's almost an intent to hurt, it's not almost, it is an intent to hurt in most cases with these, shoulder to the head, elbow to the head type hits. Like that's totally uncalled for. And me personally being a fair weather fan to the sport, when baseball's winding down, I generally am okay to start watching a bit of hockey, but I'll tell you that line hit took me right back out of it. And I was like, oh yeah, now I remember why I don't watch the sport.
Like our biggest time of year for everybody is Boxing Day through beginning of January with the World Juniors. Internationals tournaments, there's no real hitting. And then when there is, they're usually suspended.
Yeah, there's a recourse for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're loving it because it's like, there's like 8-0 games. Like teams are getting blown out. You're rooting your country on. But this, you're literally, when it's the NHL and it's 82 games a year, people are calling for people's heads to go take this guy out. They're swinging. They're doing all this stuff. Like, take that stuff out, and you will grow your game so much more.
Yep, I agree. I don't think there's any need for it. Now, the only time that I'm okay with fighting is following an injury that we were just describing, and you're going to stand up for your teammate. Sure, but to be the instigator of that, to get under the skin of the other team, to be that pest player, you shouldn't be a pest player in this league, because you should be in this league because of the skills you have. So
I remember there was a good talk of people saying, "Oh, like, you know, those bruisers, like there's no spot for them, or that sucks." Like, no, there's a reason. Like, the game has grown, and they should continue to grow and adapt. And
I'm sorry, are you going to miss his 5 goals and 7 assists on a good season, and miss his 200 penalty minutes? You're going to miss watching him view the game from the sin bin? That's really who you're going to the game to see?
the great the McGrattens or whatever coming off the bench after a hit, starting a fight in the box for 5-10 minutes, and then like he's in the box longer than he would ever have had like ice time that game anyway.
Yeah. Great take.
Yours is sports too?
What's that, sorry?
Did you say yours is sports as well?
Well, I was thinking about a sports one, and I just didn't really. I haven't put a lot of thought into it, because it's more about these contracts that are being handed out in baseball right now with deferred money, and thinking about how the Dodgers and Yankees were in the World Series and the Dodgers won, that they're being celebrated as, you know, like, this manager did such a good fucking job. And it's like,
no, it's a battle of the bank accounts, right?
It's you put that same manager on Pittsburgh's team, and if he can coach the same way with, you know,
the White Sox,
marginalized talent, or the White Sox even. So I find it really hard to get behind teams that just buy their way through to the finals. And anyway, I'll save that for another episode that we do take on. But my final take for the episode is, the one good thing that came out of Agatha All Along is me saying to myself, I really, really want to start. I really should go back and revisit Brian Michael Bendis's run on Avengers, because this is where it kind of all started. And then I started to think even deeper about his time at Marvel. So I started off and I read his Avengers Disassembled, and it's a 4-issue finale to the Avengers title before he started what was called New Avengers. But in between that, he wrote a 5-issue story called Secret Wars, and then he went into like a 50-issue run of New Avengers, and then it went into House of M, and then it went into Civil War, and then Siege, and then all of these events. And for a 10-year period, he was the puppet master of the Marvel Universe. And it got me thinking that his Avengers run will go down as the greatest run in Marvel Comics history. And this isn't even considering or factoring in his run on Ultimate Spider-Man, on Daredevil, on Jessica Jones or Alias. I'm talking strictly about the main Avengers run. And there were a few things that he's done or proven with his run over that 10-year period, where he was able to reinvent the Avengers through that disassembled mini story that I was just showing you here. Where at the time, the Avengers were kind of like that C team, that B team, and he reinvented them and re-envisioned them to be more street level, to include those non-regular, non-common or uncommon characters to the team. He also spent a lot of time tying and creating and sowing these seeds of character development throughout all of his titles. Spider-Woman, and how she was not just a double agent but a triple agent, and how she was integral to Secret Invasion. I won't spoil it if you haven't read it. Not the show, the book. Read the book.
I have read the book, so not spoiling it for me.
And then, you know, his legacy that he leaves, the fact that he had such a huge influence on the MCU, but at the same time was able to enjoy writing characters not pushed to the comics from the MCU. And what I mean by that is you pick up an Iron Man comic now and you're reading Robert Downey Jr. when you're reading Iron Man. You read a comic now and you're reading Scarlett Johansson or Chris Evans. You're reading the actor in the character. And he was doing all of this before even Iron Man 1 came out in 2008. So it was refreshing to see the voices that he used for these characters were not influenced by the theaters or by the studios. He was actually the one that was influencing it. So yeah, for those reasons, it's going to go down as the greatest time. And for me personally, I was just getting back in the comics after like 15 years away from it. 3 or 4 years back into comics when he first came on and wrote that Disassembled story, and then just cruise control for the next 10 years, and it was just so good. And you could say that there are perhaps others like Jonathan Hickman. He had a great run on Avengers and the X-Men, but I would say where Bendis was tied to more realism and more relationship and more character development, Hickman was tied to more science fiction. Both had the long-term play. Jason Aaron on his Avengers run focused on legacy characters like She-Hulk and Ghost Rider, introduced prehistoric. So there could be benefits to the run that he had too. So all this to say, my last and final take for the night is that Bendis's Avengers run is the best that Marvel Comics has ever seen.
The next hot take, is that going to be his best run of all the runs that he's done?
Yeah, you know what? That would actually be interesting to see, because once I'm done this, my goal is to do quite literally read every issue, because I had all the issues from that run, and then I might move into Ultimate Spider-Man. His Daredevil was amazing too, so that's going to be tough. That's a good question to answer. For a future.
I have another one. I didn't write it down, but I remember I thought of it earlier. Cereal is better before bed than it is after getting up.
No.
I prefer a bowl of cereal before bed than I have in the morning.
Okay, you're crazy.
Aren't I? Anyhow, the reason I thought of this hot take is I found this through my old emails, and I meant to bring this up. I found this a long time. This is back in May, but I was going through the caller inbox, and someone said this was a potential hot take. He said, if Batman Forever didn't lean into the campy approach, then Val Kilmer would be in the discussion for greatest Bruce Wayne Batman. Something I felt that Val got right was the use of his voice. When he wasn't in public, he talked like Batman, even if he wasn't wearing the cowl. He only talked like Bruce when he was in public. The only other actor I felt that really nailed this was Kevin Conroy. Both understood that Bruce Wayne was the mask, not the cowl.
Yeah.
And I was thinking back, and I watched some clips of it. It's true. He does have the voice he puts on when he's in the suit. When he is anywhere other than in public, he's talking like he was if he was in the suit,
or if he's talking to Alfred. I gotta go back. I'm going back off of my memory of the Val Kilmer movie, but I do seem to remember there being a distinct difference between the two voices. But that's a great comment, right? Like Bruce Wayne is the mask, not Batman.
Right, and that's how like Nolan perceived it later on, but those guys had it first.
I like that.
Amen. Yes, brother. And that's all.
Oh, yeah, that's all. I've got to get frig. I didn't even have the outro ready, but that's fine, folks. I will eventually get
talk amongst yourself.
Memorized. But thanks. That's all for this week's episode of Open Color. Thanks for joining us for another round of discussion and analysis on all things movies, TV, and comic books. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a rating and review, preferably both. Give us a follow on YouTube using @OpenCollarPod. We appreciate your support and can't wait to bring you even more great content next week. Until then, this is Steve. That is Corey signing off. Keep it geeky, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Open Collar.
And as our new outro is, Here is another edition of Totally Polly.
Stony individual.
Cause I'm the weasel.
Dude, check out the wood you created. Are you down to chow some serious grinded? Go starts or chillin', major. Totally Polly.
All right, everyone back. All right, everyone back. This is crowd control. What's happening? We're here at MTV's second annual Rockin' Jock Buddies. Security back, security. We're here working the crowd. We're working the crowd. It's very, oh, sorry. Touch the cone. Everyone back, security. Back, move it back. No, everyone back. All right. You got to listen up. We don't want anything. We don't want any rowdiness here. Oh, this is unbelievable. What's happening, buddies? It's me, the Weez. We're at Rockin' Jock all week with the intensest celebs, bro. Tommy Lee, Heather Locklear, all the buffest ones, dude. We're right here. We're going to be a security guard all day. So, all right, everyone back. Check out.